Jeff. Jeff, can you hear me? Okay. Have you had a good week so far? Okay, now I can't hear you. I'm not quite sure what. Oh. No?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. You flip. Now, where do you work?
71st High School in Fayetteville.
Fayetteville. Okay. Didn't y'all have was that Fayetteville where the teacher sort of at a middle school just sort of
Yes, sir.
passed? That is so sad.
Yeah, he was only 27.
And he looked, from what I saw in the paper, he looked fairly healthy.
Yeah.
And he was at a middle school. I can't imagine what those children are going through at this time. How long have you been working in Cumberland? Is it Cumberland County?
Yes, sir. This is starting my 12th year.
12. Okay. And what do you teach?
Math.
Oh. And this is a high school, you said?
Yes, sir.
What did the state finally decide on doing those two strands to go back to the traditional math or that blended math, or did they decide to not make a decision and let you do both at the same time?
Basically, they didn't make a decision. The only thing they did was change the standard names. That's all they did.
Well, bless their hearts. If you've been teaching that long, I'm guessing you have been somewhat ingrained with a traditional, algebra 1 in the 8th grade, and then what do you do, geometry in the 9th or some kind of math?
Some people take algebra 1 in 8th grade. Most of them take algebra 1 in 9th grade, and then they do geometry, then algebra 2, and then the higher level math.
Okay. Well, okay. Oh, yeah, we've got. Oh, and Dr. Lamb has joined us from afar.
Hello.
And where are you broadcasting from tonight, Dr. Lamb?
I'm in the Western White House tonight.
The Western White House.
Yeah.
If I didn't know you any better, I'd think you were up in Asheville at the governor's winter house.
I'm close by there. I'm at the Forest City residence.
Yes, yes. Okay. Well, we've got a few here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There should be 17 of us tonight.
Okay.
We'll wait for a few more, and it's not really 7. Now, what I did was I do have a clock this time that's going to go off at about 7:30 to just let us know where we are time-wise so we can keep up with what's going on. In the event that we run past when the Zoom session clicks off, it's recording now, and we'll go ahead and post it like we did last week. So let's try to stay a few more minutes before we. Now, is it Nate?
Nadej.
Nadej. Okay. And you are.
Nadej.
And where are you?
I'm in Haiti.
Haiti. Okay. Dr. Lamb, do you think that's going to be one of your interns?
Yeah. No, I'm just looking to see. I think assignments will go out by tomorrow. I'm gonna put mine out later tonight. They came out today. I got the one in Honolulu, Hawaii, rather than Haiti.
Oh, so you're going that direction.
I am.
All right. Well, I'm going to remind everyone now, and I'll remind us all in a little while once we get to 7 o'clock, that the clinical coaches are currently being assigned. I knew that was going to happen, like I said earlier, late January, early February. So those kind of clinical coaches are making that connection. If you have not read in the handbook, that person is a vital person to your success in the program. They will come out, they'll make contact. Now, Dr. Lamb, if I'm speaking out of turn, you wink or give me a signal. But they're supposed to visit soon.
Yes, we will be coming out soon. I see some of my interns are sitting there with you tonight. As I said, the assignments came out today.
Okay.
We're making contact tonight and tomorrow, and I'm sad to say that there may be a little delay in getting you into task stream. They are going to take Banner down in the morning. I know, Dr. Ted, you saw that email.
Yes.
And Banner is what populates TaskStream. Banner is the record-keeping software for Garden Web, and that's what populates TaskStream. And it's going down for work in the morning, and that usually means that it will be Monday before they get around to starting. So hopefully by Tuesday,
Okay.
you will get the ability to go and log into TaskStream.
And that was my next comment.
Looking at the group on the screen, I have Chris Burrian and I have Graham Grossclose. I have those two. I'm looking to see if any others that I have. So you'll be getting an email later from me tonight that will advertise a Zoom session. And at that Zoom session, I'll have my calendar book open. I have it open with me tonight. So if you two have some dates in the near future, again, that's Graham and Chris. If you have, I'm gonna read this list of mine. I'm gonna hijack your time till you get started here. So I've got Kathleen Barino, James Balson, Jimmy B's back, Dr. Ted. Jimmy Buchanan from
He's Guilford Middle, another Guilford County man.
Another Guilford County man. He's back. He's mine again. Brittany Clemens, Jesse Coate, Jerome Cruz, Clarence Garrett, Marshall Glenn, Graham Gloscross, Donna Ledford, Tamika Little Stiam, Erica McCrae, Kevin McCrae, Whitney Pratt, Derek Sadler, Nicole Schamberger, Aisha Tate. Aisha's a returning. Kelly Watkins, Odessa Williams, and Amber Phelps. So if any of you, other than Chris and Graham, are mine, and I have my calendar right here handy, and we can go ahead and get a jump up on the Zoom that I'm going to have next week, where you can look in your calendar for a time and date. Let me tell you the best times to look. I will be, okay, Monday I'm blocked out because I'm going to be in Fayetteville with Dr. Stedman's class. Tuesday, I've got to be on campus because we're doing a couple Zoom sessions. Dr. Ted, you will be involved in one of those. We got a couple Zooms coming out on Tuesday. You probably don't have to participate since you've already been with me. I'll be in Columbia, South Carolina on Wednesday. That would be a good day if you're down that way for me to visit. Thursday, I will be in the Anson County, Wadesboro, and up through Greensboro area, and over to Chapel Hill. I might can squeeze you in. And then I will be in the Charlotte area on Friday because I'm going to be with Dr. Ted. Dr. Ted and I are scheduled to be together Friday morning at 10 a.m. Now, the next week, I'm pretty open starting February the 6th. And the 13th, the weeks February 6th, 13, and 20 would be, I don't want to wait much later than the week of the 6th, but that would be a good week. Chris, where are you located?
I'm located in Asheboro, North Carolina.
Asheboro.
Yep. Graham and I actually work at the same school.
Oh, bless your heart. So I've got one trip. Y'all got something y'all maybe do the, let's see, Julie is where? She's in Mount Airy. I think Julie's in Mount Airy. Let's see what Julie is. Okay. No, she's in Salisbury. Oh, I could come Monday or Tuesday, or early Wednesday, pretty much anytime Thursday, and then I'm booked I got a Friday trip already that week. So I between my classes, and I just stop wherever I am and do my classes online. And so Monday the 6th, Tuesday the 7th, it would have to be like by 10 o'clock in the morning, because I got to be back in Salisbury at 1:30, or it could be a little bit later. So say 9 o'clock on Tuesday morning, anytime on Monday morning or Monday, 9 o'clock, probably no later than 9 on Tuesday morning. Wednesday would have to be like at 9 o'clock, or Thursday anytime. So looking at the 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, again, the 6th and the 9th, the Monday and Thursday, you can pick a time, I'll be there. And on Tuesday and Wednesday, it's got to be at 9 o'clock in the morning so I can get back to Charlotte for class or get back to Salisbury for an intern visit. And that's the way we do it. That's the way everybody's internship supervisor will do it. They'll find a time that's convenient for you. Now, when we come out, this is for everybody. When we come out, we want 90 minutes, 90. The first 15, we want to meet with you and your principal. Make sure that they know you signed up for an online program, and that they're going to give you access. Not that they're going to do your work for you, but that they're going to give you access for you to do your work. Dr. Ted will tell you, access is the most important thing. If you don't have access to the data, you can't get TWC, you can't do surveys, you can't put together a PLC, you're going to struggle in this program. I would read through all of those suggested list of activities, and I would read through the evidence artifacts, and you can see how much access you're going to need. And so what I'm going to come out and do is me and you and the principal are going to meet for 15 minutes max, and just get an agreement from them that they're going to give you access, and that they understand that we're not going to have them do a lot of evaluations, and we're not going to wear them out, and that be your responsibility to go to them to get that access. And then I'll meet with you for 60 to 75 minutes. We'll go over everything. By then you'll be in TaskStream. If you haven't at that time, we'll set up your TaskStream account. We'll set up your competency folio. We'll make sure you can use all Blackboard functions. I might give you some goodies to help you through the program. You never can tell.
Okay.
But that's the way it'll work. So y'all just hit me back on email. One of those 4 days would be a good day for me to come out. Thank you, Dr. Ted.
I have a question.
Go right.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Now I'm an elementary school teacher. It's going to be hard to find 60 to 75 minutes to sit and chit chat with you. How can we modify that, or what can we do?
After school?
Oh, okay. School.
Yeah, after school. Before or after school.
Okay.
I've been at school at dark, both before school and after school.
Me too.
So that's why I said we'll have to meet by 9. And if we need to meet earlier than that, I can be there earlier than that. Or if we need to meet late in the afternoon, that's why I said
I have a question.
the time range. But those 2 days, like for me, on that Monday and Friday, we can't be too early or too late. Your time is mine. So if a lot of times I meet at elementary schools, like yesterday I met in Chester, meet at 3 o'clock, and then we can go to 5.
Okay.
Yeah. Just as long as we can catch your principal before they run over us in the parking lot trying to get away.
Okay.
Good.
Someone else had a question?
Yes, me. How about me and Haiti?
All right, what we're going to do with you is your person is either going to Zoom or Skype with you, and we'll do a little session with you and your principal. I talked to Dr. Hamilton. I think Dr. Hamilton is going to take you because he's also a Zoom master. He's a full-time person. And so looking at the spreadsheet, let me see if I can, I don't know if I've got his spreadsheet or not. Let me see. But I think it's going to be Dr. Hamilton that you're going to have, and he will do that with you. You will work online. Everybody else, if you're a North Carolina person, we're working with state law here, and Dr. Ted will tell you this later. You know, we have to work within the confines. In the state of North Carolina, we have to come and visit.
Okay.
If you're not in North Carolina, we don't have to. We can do a video, but for the licensure in North Carolina, we have to visit. We have to make an on-site visit.
Okay.
Okay.
I would volunteer to come to Haiti if they pay for it. I'd like to go to Dominican in February and just get a little puddle jumper over to Haiti. That'd be great. But I'm working on the Honolulu
Well,
trip.
Okay. So we've talked about TaskStream, and they're going to try to get it back up and running and online by hopefully Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Lamb mentioned that the clinical coaches are currently being assigned, and in your case, there were two of you that are in Asheboro and at the same school. I can go ahead and tell you from past experiences, they will align, so both of those individuals will have the same clinical coach.
Right.
That doesn't make good business sense if you got two different people going to the school at two different times. Plus, it's a double inconvenience to your administrator. I mean, it just makes better sense. And these two guys are doing a much better job behind the scenes of assigning those interns to the clinical coaches.
Right.
Okay. Next thing, let's make sure some of you have taken the Blackboard test, and it's basically something where you either did or you didn't. And I've been going back online and I'm looking to see who's doing what, but you need to do that activity and get a check in that box. Number two, some of you had asked in an email, and I'm going to respond back. I'll mention about your emails tonight, about your screenshots. Based on what platform that you're operating off, if it's Windows 7, Vista, 10, or whatever, that will sort of drive the buttons that you push as you do a screenshot. You know, you'll have a document and you'll want to take a picture of it and then load it. Well, if you will Google screenshot, but you need to be aware of what your operating system is, and then it will tell you how to proceed to start doing that activity. One or two of you have actually, and I think it's only one, and it was an excellent, I won't holler out the name, but the work was excellent, and I've responded back on your philosophy of education. It was well written, it had depth, and it wasn't just a bunch of fluff. But what I did was, I think I wrote excellent work or strong response to that narrative or whatever, but it was good. If you haven't done that response, even though TaskStream is not up and running, you can still load it over on the Blackboard. Number two, you need to make sure that you're working on task one under the app cell, the preview part, that you're going to be linking over to YouTube. So try to keep up with the dates. We are merely somewhere between week 1 and week 2. I'm not necessarily a stickler, but you do need to keep up. And you're about to launch from some class activities to working on those different components. As I think I mentioned earlier in the APSL, there are 5 or is it 6? And those will need to be completed prior to the 1st or the middle of May. So one of you had mentioned about how do you begin writing? Well, first of all, you need to double check your literary work, your sources and things like that. You need to look at the process that we use. It's not MLA, it's the other one, APA.
Yeah.
And all of that stuff is covered in the handbook and all. So you definitely need to be reading about.
Hello?
Yeah, who we got here? Oh, Dale Lamb's gone somewhere. Okay. Now, I've got 2 more announcements, and then we're going to look at some documents that are covered under week 2. When I sent out the email for this invitation, you should have gotten everybody's email address. Is that true? I hope it is. What that means is you need to find your Zoom groups, see who the Zoom master is, and then start communicating and setting up your sessions. I think the first one is where you get together and you introduce yourself, you talk about where you are, how long you've been there, what do you teach, that sort of thing. So you do need to start warming up on doing your Zoom groups. And then as far as the emails that you sent, someone has joined us on a telephone, it looks like. And as far as the emails that you sent that are you specific, I will answer those tonight. All right, I'm going to click on to take you off a shared screen, and let's look at some of the documents that are covered in week 2 that I want to make sure you deal with. All right, so that means let's talk about, do y'all just see that document? Everybody see that?
No, I don't see it.
No.
Oh, that's not good. All right, let's try the next one. Do you see this one? Is that one up?
No.
Oh, this is not good. I've loaded all the activities that we're supposed to be working on in week 2. And, well, obviously you don't see that one, or you talks about. Anyway, I'll try to figure out how to make the connection between the data that I have loaded and the activities so you can see where it is. But if you will go to week 2 in that session, everything that I've loaded up should be over on, to be moved over. Dr. Lamb, are you back with us? I don't think so. Anyway, let's talk in general. I'll let you go on about your way. What questions, almost all of you have done your enrollment verification form. Now, until that activity is done, they won't assign you, number one, your clinical coach, because they don't know if you're really enrolled. And number 2, after 3 days, I believe it says in the handbook, after the cutoff date was, which I think was Monday or Tuesday, they'll drop you from the roll. So let's, everyone, and I think I've sent one personal email to that individual. So if you haven't done that, and all of you have except one, make sure you follow through, please. And then if you would also go back and start messing with activities under the Blackboard. Dr. Lamb.
I'm back.
Okay. Here's my on-the-spot question for you in front of this group.
Okay.
I've loaded my documents at the bottom of my computer.
Okay.
When I click on them, they do not have access to those documents.
No, that you'll have to show that they can only see them on the screen. They're in Blackboard, wherever you have them in Blackboard, if they want to access that document.
That
But
is
to see it on your screen, you're going to need to go to where it says share screen.
Okay, hold up. Okay, whoa. Share screen.
And then the whiteboard will pop up and tell you what you've got loaded.
Okay, can I click on desktop and that activates it?
Well, it'll show wherever your desktop is. You try that one first.
All right.
You won't blow, get it wrong.
That didn't happen. Let me click on one of the documents and see if it pops up.
Okay.
That didn't help.
All right, you've got to go to share screen and double click on it and get a share board that pops up.
Oh, I lost everybody there.
Ah.
What?
Uh-huh. Now double click on what you want. Now we see your home screen, your desktop.
Okay. So now they can see it. Okay.
They see your desktop. Now
week 2 directives. All right, guys, can you see that?
Oh yeah, we see URL Teaching Center.
Okay. Excellent. See, I had an online resource. Didn't click the right button. Thank you very much. Now, this one's going to talk about as you write a document, share it with someone in your peer review group. The theory is, according to this link, that having someone to read it one or more at least one time and make suggestions will be better for you. Now, I keep referring back to the handbook. You've got someone who's your guide on the side, if I can quote that individual, who is no longer the sage on the stage, but this person is to guide you through 601, talk about what's expected, maybe give you some examples and give you a little help. Your peer review people look at your work also, and I'll be glad to do that, but this needs to take place before you move it over for some type of evaluation. Now, when you send that stuff over for an evaluation, I want you to understand that evaluator is going to look at it with a fairly fine-tooth comb. They may be trained in APA and all the nuances about that. They may be trained on the rubric as to what the different parts of the APSL require. And then if it's not at 100%, they are, in theory, I got my fingers crossed, are to send it back to you, the areas that need some adjustment. These evaluators are in contact with your clinical coach. So the clinical coach is supposed to know what the evaluator has said and how to work with you online to better improve in your document. So in theory, what they want is you bounce it back 2 or 3 times in a peer review setting. When it looks good, a lot of times I've had my interns we have an understanding that I think it looks fairly good and it should meet the qualifications of a 3 or a 4 in a task stream, and then this individual puts it up and it's evaluated. Well, unless it's given I think it's still a 3 or 4, Dr. Lamb, it's going to be sent back.
It will be.
With suggestions. It's just like if you deal with a student and it's a writing activity or something that's, that they need to work on, you just don't send it back. You tell them what they need to do to improve the paper or the project. And then you do that, and then you send it back again. So let's keep that in mind. That's what this process means. In the handbook under week 2, if you'll click on that link, it will talk about using APA and how to improve your writing and to use your peer review groups. Okay? I keep mentioning that handbook, and I'm hoping that you have spent some serious time looking at it. All right, let's try another document. We talked about the paper about, again, I'm sort of nervous, so I'm going to keep asking. And everybody can see that written article?
Yes, sir.
Good. My screen's telling me that my internet connection is unstable. Well, I'm on a landline.
It's windy.
I hadn't thought about the wind coming from the west. Okay. So it talks about the peer review process and what it's supposed to take place. Again, this is an article that you definitely need to read and understand. And right here where it talks about planning and guiding in the class peer review. These are the skills that you need to be familiar with and what's going to need to take place. If you need additional information, go to those sources. All right, let's look at the next document. All right, click on this one. This is a different version of the other one about what's supposed to take place. I mean, it's fairly, and it's all about the peer review process. Can you see that using this peer review process will help support you as you work with adults in your PLC? They're somewhat connected. Adult learners do not learn like elementary, middle school, or high school students. We are different in how we can be approached, and number 2, how we absorb and collect material and how to process it. Adult learners are definitely different. And the last thing is, for those who have not submitted their philosophy education, I need that to take place. You should be working on part 1 of your APSL and that sort of stuff. I can tell when you get things completed or done because when you upload them in post, I get an alert on my computer that I have some work that I need to review and move it on. What questions do you have at this point?
I have one.
I knew you would. Yes, Dr. Lamb.
Can you click on syllabus, APA style guide, calendar, Zoom, peer reviewing directions, etc.?
Now this, as you have told me, that might throw me off, but I did click on it. Now what?
Yeah. Click on that one right there.
Okay.
Double click and see if it'll open up.
You did.
All right. All right, open. All right. Please open Word document.
It's coming.
All right. Now, if you will scroll, if you'll hit enable editing, Dr. Bowen, at the top. We got about 10 minutes remaining, so I'll be brief here. In support of what Dr. Bowen was just talking about, peer review is a very good thing. To that end, if you'll scroll down now, Dr. Bowen, we have the guide on how to do peer review. I'm sure you've already seen that.
Tell me what. Remember what page that's on.
The guide on how to do it and the rubric, because we're going to be looking at you in terms of instructors. We'll be looking at you and how well you give feedback to your peers. So the peer review process, keep on going on down, is not only to improve work, but we will be looking to grade you and to help you to be able to grade others' work or give them feedback. There it is on the right-hand side of your screen now.
Right.
That's the form that you will use in peer review, whether you're doing it written or whether you're doing a Zoom peer review group. You will use that form. And I thought Dr. Bowen made a very salient point. This will help you when you work in your PLCs. As you lead your PLCs, you need to learn how to give critical feedback to the work that your PLC does, and you need to have a format for that, and you need to have objective criteria for that. And you'll set that up in your norms, values, and roles of your PLC, but there'll be deliverables for your people. And this will not only help guide you in evaluating work of your peers in this class, but it will also help you and guide you in how to give constructive feedback to the people in your PLCs. I thought that was an excellent point, Dr. Bowen.
Well, they are tied together. Now, one thing I hope, and I keep going back to this same document, in that MELS handbook, if you have looked at it, or hopefully if you're old school like I am, I printed mine off. And, you know, you sort of look through these documents. As someone once said, he's a wise old man, read the document or the manual, study the manual, and follow the manual. Well, everything's for the most part laid out for you as to what you need to do. Is that a fair assessment, Dr. Lamb?
It is.
Read the manual, study the manual, follow the manual. Mm-hmm. Now, where your individuality takes place is in your writing, mm-hmm. how you deal with your PLC and how you address the APSL, especially in part 1. That will be your first attempt. And this is how this process works. I've used this peer review instrument before in a face-to-face class where they would sit in groups and we'd switch around groups from week to week or month to month, and they would look at the documents, make comments, and then exchange papers. Well, you're going to do the same thing, except you're going to do it electronically. That's the only difference. You'll have a Zoom conference, which your Zoom master will pick and set up a time and a date. But for the most part, this is the same kind of process that a face-to-face class would use.
And
are we good so far?
It works in real life.
It is. It is. And he made a good point. It needs to be totally objective. It does not, subjectivity does not need to take place in this. And you know how that can be And I started out as a middle school teacher, and I finished my teaching career in a high school, teaching physics and chemistry. And for the most part, we taught in high school in isolation. It's an odd animal to begin with, but I cannot imagine me doing a PLC with a group of other science teachers, thinking the attitudes and what we brought to the table and how we work together. But you're taking the role of an administrator. The best way to create change in a school is not working with students. Let me repeat that. Is not working with students. It's working with teachers when you become an administrator. And this is nothing more than your student teaching to become an administrator, be it an AP or a principal or one of these other positions. Okay, it's 7:30, so I'm going to turn the alarm off and let you know we could get cut off at any time.
You got 5 minutes.
Thank you. You're the timekeeper also.
I'm the timekeeper.
Oh,
I have a question.
To get you a pro account where you won't have a time limit.
well, that could happen. Go ahead with the question.
I have a question. I'm looking here at the course calendar. I printed it off as well.
Yeah.
And the due date for week 2 assignment says, or it says that task 1, draft due Wednesday, September the 14th.
Okay.
What is the updated?
Trust me when I tell you this.
Okay.
You'll notice when you upload stuff, there are some people in these 5 different courses that will lock you out after so many, if it's not due on a certain date.
Oh, okay.
All of my activities, I have not put a closeout date. I'm leaving everything open. This is a combination of some coursework, and it's also a combination of working on your APSL. You need to sort of do a little bit of both, but at the end, toward the middle of May or the 1st of May, the APSL, this is the second time I've said this tonight, is the key document that needs to be up, cleaned up, and approved by the evaluator. Okay, so the APSL is in the front seat. My coursework, which still needs to be done, is in the back seat. If
Gotcha.
that makes sense.
It does.
Okay.
Thank you.
A lot of people,
Let me summarize from the department. The try to stay on your turn-in dates for all of your APSL work. As long as you get his work done by the end of the semester, we're good. That's the beauty of online education. It's self-paced on the coursework. Now, the portfolio, the reason why it has to be turned in on time is that other people are depending on you and you're depending on them for the peer review. That's why it's kind of got to stay on time. But his coursework, or my coursework in my courses, I tell my students, I don't put a lockout date. You can put it in any time by the end of the semester. The coursework goes in Blackboard. But the evidence artifact work, which is the APSL for you, you need to try to fairly closely keep up with those times to respect your colleagues that you're working with in this class.
if you haven't noticed this, the coursework that has been assigned to you to work on parallels and blends with the APSL and the APSL activities.
Right.
They're all tied together. But like he said, some professors will set a lockout date. I don't do that. I know what's required, and at the end of each semester, so don't get tied up with, well, I didn't turn this in, or I'm going to turn it in, it's going to be late. There's no late. That's the key part. Your artifact evidence work, or your task, I think they're called now, that's the prime example as to what and where you need to stay focused.
2-minute warning.
Okay. Any questions? Well,
Yeah, Dr. Bowen.
yes.
I had a question. Is there a minimum number of members? I may have missed it. I had some technical issues. But is there a minimum number of members to the PLC that we are creating?
Okay. What do you teach, DeWall?
I'm actually currently I'm the testing coordinator in a charter school in Wilson.
Okay. By the way, if I come to see you sometime, I'll have dinner at Parker's with you.
Yeah, I'll come with you.
Yeah, sure.
I've got a gold card at Parker's.
What I tell you, DeWalt, is this. Parker's is a local famous restaurant in Wilson that's been there for ages. What I would say, what is your area that you work in, DeWald? You said the testing coordinator?
Yes, I'm the testing coordinator and also the math coach for the school.
Okay, I would pick is this an elementary, middle, or high?
We're a K-8 school.
Okay, what I would do is get some math teachers at different levels, at least 3.
Okay.
You need more than 1, and the more you get over 3,
Gotta have 3.
it gets complicated. So just go with 3 in that same discipline.
Got less than a minute. Do y'all want to continue? If you do, I'll send another link. We'll keep going.
Yes.
I would like to.
All right. As soon as this one goes out, I'm going to send you another link and we'll start again.
Okay.
Okay, Dr. Bowen, sorry. You also, last time I mentioned, you mentioned the graduation date. Sorry, I know it's a little off topic now, but the sound was really bad that night.